Today in our 2007 Buick Terraza, we'll be having a look at and installing the CURT Class 3 trailer hitch receiver, part number 13336. Now here's what our hitch looks like installed. As you can see, it's tucked up nicely underneath our fascia here. It doesn't hang down too low, but it is close up high to the vehicle, so we do maintain the most amount of ground clearance that we can. Our receiver here is tucked up behind the fascia, so when we're loading cargo into our hatch area of our Terraza, we don't have to worry about running our shin into it, which is a nice feature. This hitch features a 400-pound max gross tongue weight rating, a 4,000-pound max gross trailer weight rating. It does support the use of weight distribution, and when we're using that, our max gross tongue weight rating increases to 600 pounds, and our max gross trailer weight rating increases to 6,000 pounds. On the side of our receiver here, we have our industry standard 5/8 of an inch diameter hitch pin hole to secure any of our hitch mounted accessories. On the bottom, we have our rolled steel safety chain loops that are welded on into place. They're a fairly large opening, so we shouldn't have much problem using most size safety chains on it. To help give our hitch a more finished appearance, we have this nice welded on collar at the end. Gives it a nice look and also gives it a little bit more strength. Now for a few measurements to better assist you in choosing any hitch mounted accessory you may need, such as a ball mount, bike rack, or a cargo carrier. You're looking at about 12 inches from the ground to the top of the Class 3 2-inch receiver opening, and about 6 inches from the center of the hitch pin hole to the rearmost part of the back bumper. Now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. Alright, to begin our installation, we need to lower our exhaust. We can do that just by removing this one hanger right here. To make it slide off a little bit easier, we'll spray some lubricant on it. Use a pry bar. Pry the hanger loose. Okay, now we need to unbolt our exhaust hanger from our frame. To do that, we'll use a 15mm socket and remove the 2 bolts. We also have this fascia support bar in place. We need to remove this. Again, 15mm bolts, and there's 2 of them. Now our driver's side is slightly different. We still have the same fascia support bar we need to remove with 2 15mm bolts. And depending on your model of the van, you may or may not have a load leveling compressor right here. If you do, you have another 15mm bolt there and 2 10mm nuts on the side here. We'll need to drop this down. Now typically this compressor would have air lines going to it, but our compressor has stopped working a long time ago, so it's been bypassed, and our air shocks now use a manual inflation valve. So our compressor really doesn't do anything, but we need to unplug it and get it out of our way. We have 2 electrical connectors. Lift up on the lock tab, unplug it. This one here, you push it on the lock tab. We can now twist it out, but we can hang it out of the way, like so, and have access to our bolts. Okay, with our compressor out of the way now, we'll repeat the same process to remove our fascia support bar. All right, now at the inside edge of our frame rail, we have a round hole. We'll stick our fish wire through that hole, come out this slot, stick on our block, stick it inside, thread on our carriage bolt, place it inside, repeat the same process on the other side. All right, now with an extra set of hands, we'll raise our hitch up, feeding our fish wires through the side of our hitch. Once we have it raised up, pull the bolt through, we'll remove the pull wire, thread on our flange nut. Okay, with our hitch in place now, we'll take our fascia support bar here, using one of the factory bolts we removed on the outside edge. We'll get that started. We'll use one of the bolts that comes with our hitch with the conical tooth washer. The teeth will face towards the hitch. We'll go through our support bar, and then go towards the front hole on the side of our hitch. Okay, now if your vehicle is like ours and your exhaust hanger rod faces this direction towards the passenger side, you'll reinstall the hanger in the original spot just underneath the hitch like this. However, if you have a different style hanger than this one and your rod faces this direction, it'll pass through the hitch like so, and it will be secured to the side of the hitch like this. This is not the right style bracket for this application, so I can't show you exactly how it goes, but you get the idea how it bolts to the hitch, and this would be on the inside with the rod going through it. So we'll raise this on up. And again, we'll be using our bolts with the hitch and the conical tooth washers. Okay, we went ahead and got our fascia support brace in place on the driver's side, just like we did on the passenger side, and put our middle bolt up in place as well. Now we need to install our compressor again. However, this tab here where it was using the frame as a support and locked in place, we won't be able to use that anymore because the hitch covers up that hole. So we need to cut this tab off right here flush with the bottom of our bracket. So what I'm going to use to do this is a cutoff wheel. So make sure you're wearing your proper personal protection equipment when you're using a tool like this, you don't get hurt. Now if our bare metal exposed when we cut it off, we'll take some spray paint here to help prevent it from rusting any worse than it already is. Okay, we found out that our compressor, even with trimming off that one area, this area here covers up one of our bolt heads, which isn't going to work. So we marked off the area we're going to trim off the same way. Now even though our compressor doesn't work, yours might, so we'll make sure we plug it back in. Okay, now we use a 17mm socket and tighten our bolts up. Now we'll torque all of our hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. Now we'll make sure we tighten out our fender braces bolts all the way. Now we'll reinstall our exhaust hanger. And that completes our look at and installation of the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number 13336 on our 2007 Buick Terraza.